National Champions course. I mean, you got the Bear Trap, which is a par 3, par 4, par 3, which for tour players always plays above par. That's all you need to hear. That's all you need to know. And coming off the what's it called? The Genesis at Riviera, where Joaquin Niemann absolutely tore it up. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch, but you're talking about greens that are like the size of postage stamps, fairways that are the size of normal greens, the width. And he absolutely dominated wire to wire. So I'm going to go with the hot hand. I like Joaquin Niemann going into this. I think if you can tear it up at the Genesis, he has a good shot at, going out there and putting up a good score. Sung Jae Im right now is going off as the favorite, 13-1. I know he won 2 years ago. The last year's winner was Matt Jones, I believe. He's been in the mix a lot out there. But him and Ricky Fowler in the past 5 years have posted the two lowest scores, shooting on average, 67 round. So as a dark horse, I like Ricky Fowler. I like putting Ricky Fowler in to hit a top 10. I think he's been in the mix there. He's been runner up. He's won. I like him coming in. I think he's hungry. He's been on a little bit of a downturn. He made a couple tournaments just by exemptions and stuff like that. But I think for the money, for the price, you can't go wrong putting Ricky Fowler in a course that he plays well in a top 10. So I'm going to go Joaquin Niemann, follow a hot hand, and then Ricky Fowler as my top 10 pick.
All right. Andrew, what are you feeling now?
Yeah, I don't mind that. Coming from a DraftKings angle, Joaquin Niemann is the only guy above 10,000 that I'd be willing to play this week for all the reasons you just said. I want ball striking this week. I want approach. I want good putting, and with how hot Joaquin was last week, he was the only one I would consider playing. Now that whole top 10, 10,000 and above range is chalky this week because there's so little of them. And the other thing that's coming into a factor for that is that it's a very small 8K range on DraftKings this week too. There's only 10 guys in that 8K range. So what I'm finding is that those top tier guys are very highly owned, and then that 8K range is very highly owned as well. So if you're playing DraftKings, I'm almost I'm playing 20 something lineups, so I'm definitely playing some Joaquin lineups, but I'm more starting in the 9K and then balancing out with a bunch of 7K guys just from an ownership standpoint. That's where you're coming through. So the guys I'm looking at is actually like a Tommy Fleetwood and a Billy Horschel this week at the top of the 9K range. I really like both of them. I'm playing a lot of them. Billy Horschel specifically coming in with a pretty quietly good year so far, 3 top 40s in the last 6. And he's made the cut 3 out of his last 4 times here at this tournament. So I like Billy Horschel at 9,600 as a spot where you can start your lineup out. Like I said, paired with the Tommy Fleetwood, and then given the value you have in the 7K range, you can easily make that happen. And if I had to pick a dark horse for this week, I'm talking not to win, but just a dark horse if you're playing DK to make the cut and help you get to the promised land with getting that green. $6,200 on DraftKings, we have Jason Duffner. He loves the Florida swing. He's made the cut here every year for the past 5 years. I mean, he's not tearing it up and finishing top 20 or anything, but he's finishing 30s every year. And he's a nice, safe play when you can get him at 6,200 and he's playing all right, considering that price tag. It's a no-brainer for me to get him into a bunch of lineups. So Duffner's my dark horse, and I like starting with Fleetwood and Horschel up in the 9K range.
All right. So I know me and TJ, we do like betting. I know you do a lot of fantasy DraftKings, lineup and stuff. So explain to us, because I never done it before. How many golfers do you get when you do a DraftKings fantasy?
So you get 6 $50,000 salary, and to give you kind of a breakdown, the top tiers, like this week, Sung Jae Im is priced at 11,000, and then so usually anything over 10,000 is considered considerably high price. It's usually a range that a lot of guys will choose to fade completely to try to differ from the field. Because it tends to be that a lot of times one of those guys in that top tier range, price-wise, will actually miss the cut. It's just how it goes. It's golf. It's wild. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, other than that, it's just like any other daily fantasy. You have a price range, and you gotta fit under the salary cap. You get 6 guys. You get 3 points for birdies. minus 3 points for a double bogey, like stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I've actually never done that, but it sounds interesting. I might actually try it this weekend. Now we're talking to you about it, because it sounds interesting. I do like betting on golf, and it's tough to always pick a winner, but you can always pick people who just do well in a tournament and still make money that way. So that's interesting. So I I'm kind of following what you said. I like Billy Horschel here as well. So he's going off as a winner is plus 1,800. So top 5 guys right now is M, Fleetwood, Ustason, Berger, and Horschel. So, those are obviously, and the odds there are, they're all pretty long odds too. M is at plus 1,000. He's returning champ. One of my long shot picks that I have is I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but is it Christian
Bazuna? I can't.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but he's at plus 5,000. But maybe not pick him to win overall. But I was doing a little bit of research. They said that he's actually one of the better putters in the world when it comes to Bermuda grass greens. So so top 10. If you finish top 10, is plus 400, and the top 20 is plus 190. So a top 20 finish for him, probably playing that plus 190 might be a good shot. And he's made his last 35 tournaments worldwide, he's made the cut 33 times. So
he's becoming more popular. He's like, a year or two ago, you'd see his name and everyone would ignore it because it's just so crazy long and incredibly hard to say. But he's pretty consistent for being so little known. But he's becoming more popular now. And you kind of hit on the head. He's actually in pretty good form right now. He's got 2 top 20s in the last 5 tournaments. And the thing that's interesting about him is that he's never played this course in a tournament before. I mean, I'm sure he's played it plenty of times, but we've never seen him, in a tournament setting. We have no stats on him for that. So it'll be interesting to see his first time out. So he does have the game that fits here. So I don't mind taking a dark horse shot at him at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one of my guys, I'm just going to bet this one top 20 for Koepka plus 110. I think that's pretty good odds. It's like Nick, like you idiot.
Is Koepka all right? Is he all right now though? He seems to be a little on the edge.
No, I mean, you saw the waste management, how he just completely collapsed, and that's not Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka is the type of guy that can, like he can float around and then just come right back in. And I mean, he showed signs of it. He made a couple, par putts that he needed to make, but he was putting himself in the waste management in positions that's not the way you win, and he just wasn't there. It's just he was going through the motions and he didn't have it, and that's why I'm staying away from Brooks Koepka for a while until he shows that resurgence, because he's not playing like himself.
Yeah, I just feel like with a weaker field, there's not as many big names as was the Genesis Invitational. That maybe this could be something where it's a pretty wide open field. I think. That maybe.
But you know what? It's a tournament that a lot of times somebody that's not your top 10 finisher is going to come in and win. On top of the fact that you got the field is wide with players like a Patrick Harrington can come back and win. I mean, he's won it before, and he's still playing a pretty high level of golf given his age. You never know. One of those crafty veterans comes in and rips up that course because it just suits his eye that day. It's one of those tournaments that, like we said, especially the bear trap, you can lose your entire round right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look for guys who are good at par threes. Strokes game par three is one of my key stats this week. So you got to look for like I said, ball striking approach and then par threes. You find those guys, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, and then my other prop I'm going to do is probably Patrick Reed to miss the cut plus 130, just because I don't know.
Wow.
Whatever.
Well, we had a very long conversation on Patrick Reed on my show last week on Divots and Pivots, and I ended up playing him and I got burnt. So
there you go.
That's the thing, man. Patrick Reed is that. He's good for a out of nowhere, wire to wire victory, and then disappear into the mist every year. He just comes out of nowhere. He fucking plays like that Patrick Reed that wins, and then he's just unseen and unheard of for the next 20 weeks.
Yep, that's Patrick Reed in a nutshell. He does just enough to get under your skin and piss you off, and then he disappears.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I think about wraps up. Nick doesn't do too much of the gambling and the golf and stuff. So
no, I don't do the gambling. I watch golf like I watch you and TJ play golf and Rich. About it.
Nick does look good on the course. Though. He wears nice pants.
Guys know me. I'm a big Florida State fan, so I'm upset with Brooks.
We could bet Daniel Berger then if you're a big Florida State guy.
He's not representing. I don't bet on sports. I don't bet on things I can't take any part in whatsoever.
Fair enough.
I got you.
Listen,
you know
Nick,
if I have dice in my hand, I'll bet. If I don't, and I can't pick anything, I'm good. I can't even make the odds, but with my pick, no, fuck out of here.
Nick, I got to tell you, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got to not reference what me and Rook do as playing golf and you watching it. I mean, it's essentially just trying to get the ball as far down range as you can. and then get it a little closer and a little closer, and then not break a club because you put 2 off a fucking tree.
I'm pretty sure that's golf. I will say that, as, you know, we asked Andrew what his team was. He said the Red Sox, and as he continued to talk, and I heard Pa and Hawk, I was like, oh, he's definitely a Red Sox.
Oh yeah,
Black
born and bred. Northern.
I heard a Haas. I was like, horse. Haas.
All right, well,
proud of
Andrew,
Haas.
we're just about wrapping up the PGA talk. We appreciate you joining us today. Tell us where you're at. I have your. That's correct, right?
Yeah, right there. That's correct. You can find the show Twitter at Divots and Pivots. You can find my own personal Twitter at Real Mr. Mallard. You can catch the show on Belly Up Sports TV on Tiki Live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. I have guests. We talk DFS, mainly Draft Kings, but we also just talk general PGA golf stories. We like to attack it from a human side. So check us out, YouTube, Twitter, Tiki Live. I'm there for you. There it is, right there. There's the banner.
And there's this logo there, Divots and Pivots. Thank you, Andrew. We appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Anytime. And TJ, you're hanging around. You're leaving.
No, I'm out of here. I got to go do some drinking.
That's a smart
All right.
win right there.